Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Tito and I post everything finance related. I basically post finance content with little glimpses into my life as we go through. I'm on a debt payoff journey. I'm trying to pay off my grad school debt as fast as possible. And I realized that I would sit on my couch and watch other creators talk about how they're doing that, what they think makes sense, their tips and tricks. And I love it. Like that's what I consume all the time. And in 2026, I'm trying to stop consuming as much content and start creating more content because as much fun as consuming content is, I think there's obviously a lot of benefits in creating content as well. I'm very passionate about like some of my digital products that I've made, and I spend a lot of time making them. And I saw the influence that digital products like budget trackers had on my life in 2025. I created one for 2026 because I also wanted people to benefit from that. And I just realized that my favorite thing to do to talk about with my friends when I'm not talking about like gossip or dumb stuff that's going on or TV is money and budgeting and finances. And I don't want to look back in 30 years and wish that I had made different financial choices. And so that's why, one, that's why I love talking about money, but that's also why I started this YouTube channel. So follow me. I post every single week. I try to make different content, and I did just start in 2026. So we'll see how the rest of the year goes, but I have generally pretty much enjoyed posting online. So thanks for those that follow me. And if you don't follow me right now. That's my little intro. I always talk about what I'm drinking for the day. Today I am just drinking, oh my God, I can't talk. I'm literally drinking a honey lemon Lipton black tea. And that's it. No coffee today. I'm trying to cut back on my caffeine a bit, but okay. Welcome to my February recap video where I walk through how much I spent in the month of February, my February goals and whether or not I achieved them, and some of my goals for March looking forward. And I think it's super important to look back and see how much you spend over a month to kind of get yourself set up a little bit for the next month. I always love watching videos like this. It's so nice to see how much people, I'm literally so nosy. So I like to see how much people make, what they spend it on, what's going on. So I am going to break down for you later in the video exactly how I spent my $200,000 salary, my after-tax take home in combination with the money that I make from selling a budget tracker, as well as my income was about $12,000. So I will show you exactly what I did with all the money that I spent. I'm gonna start by giving you guys a few favorites from February. I think February is a great month. One, it's Black History Month, but also it's like a month with 28 days in it, and something about that is so enticing to me, especially this February. If you look at the calendar, it was like perfect. I think that it started on a Sunday and ended on a Saturday, so it literally looked perfect. So March starts off looking perfect, but then it has more than 28 days, so it doesn't follow the perfect like 7 days, 4 weeks flow. I'm gonna start with my favorites from February and then review the money that I spent in February. Spoiler alert, I met some of the financial goals I set for myself last month, which I'm really excited about. And I'm gonna show you guys like the tracker that I use to help keep myself in line. Last year, I paid off $80,000 of my student loans. I still have 80,000 to go. And with a wedding this year and planning and spending money on a honeymoon and all that, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pay off the same amount that I did last year, but we are gonna try. We're gonna try our very best. Like I want every dollar that's not going towards my wedding or my life to go towards my loans, and we'll see how that goes. But let's start with my February favorites. So I'm gonna start with movies, I think, because on February 28th, the last day of the month, I figured out a movie franchise that people have been obsessed with for decades and decades that I've never watched because it felt like it was none of my business. Star Wars. I know that people tried to tell me. I know they did for sure, and so did my fiance. But my friend had a Star Wars like movie watch party because he wanted us to watch all of the well, he wanted us, so there's like, you guys probably know, but I didn't know that years and years and decades ago, the like 3 movies for Star Wars came out. And then a few decades after that, they created the prequel to those movies and then created another 3 movies. And so now you can watch them in order, like 1 through 6. But when you watch 1, 2, 3, those are movies were created after the 4, 5, 6 were. So he wanted to show us the movies in order by starting with 1. But apparently 1 is kind of a flop. People didn't really like it, and he doesn't really like it. So instead, he just showed us like a PowerPoint of it. And then we watched number 2 and number 3. I know they have terms, but like I don't know if it's episode 2, I think maybe episode 2 and episode 3. Episode 3 he said was his favorite. So I was like building up, waiting for 3. And I watched 2 and I was like, okay, this is cute. Skywalker, okay, like whatever. I'm figuring it out. I'm understanding, I'm hearing. And I don't know anything about Star Wars. Like they were kind of shocked how much I didn't know. Like I know Yoda, I know Skywalker, I know Luke, I am your father, but like that's it. I don't know anything else. And so it was so fascinating to watch episode 2, especially with the background that he gave us from episode 1. We watched 2 and then we watched 3 and I was obsessed. Like watching, I assume you guys have watched it. I'm not going to spoil anything crazy, but just watching the transformation in episode 3 of the characters and seeing how things unravel and seeing how we got to the points that I'm aware of kind of from 4, 5, 6 when people just talking about it and like pop culture and stuff was fascinating. I was like literally at the edge of my seat. I do think one thing that I kind of hate about watching movies is that I like and maybe I'm just full of myself, but I feel like I can identify the plot and like where the twists and turns are going to happen in the very beginning of the movie. And so then it makes the movie like less enjoyable for me, which is probably why I kind of don't love watching movies. So very, very early on, like I don't remember the characters' names, but like when the Chancellor came on the screen super early on, this is a spoiler also. So if you haven't watched it and you want to watch it based on my fragmented review, please just skim over this part right now. But in the very beginning, the second the Chancellor came on the screen in episode 2, because context, I didn't watch episode 1, I said, that's a bad guy. I didn't know what it was. I just literally knew, I said, that's a bad guy. And I was right. So it kind of like set me up for the 2 and 3 because I was just watching him the whole time. I'm like, I'm suspicious of you. I don't really know what's going on. But if you have not watched Star Wars for whatever reason, I didn't, no judgment from me, but you should go watch it. I am definitely a fan. And I'm glad that my friend forced me to watch it. So that's my movie favorite, shocking, of February 2026 is Star Wars episode 2 and 3. And I'm going to watch probably 4, 5, 6, but then because 4, 5, 6 are like older, I'm like, I barely like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I kind of like the new age, you know? Anything after 2000 is more my vibe, but maybe I'll give it a chance because I did like 2 and 3 so much. So that I do recommend watching Star Wars. Moving on to my TV show favorites for February 2026. I talked about this in my last reset video, but Traitors US season 4 wrapped up this past week in February. And I just love Rob. Like, that's it. There's nothing to say. I love Rob. Like, that's it. Like, I thought the show was so well done. I love watching all the characters and how they trust each other and how they don't trust each other and how they turn on each other and how they act in these situations and the stress and the tears. And I think it's so fascinating. So if you have not watched Traitors, the TLDR is that it's like Mafia, the game Mafia, but in a house. So they bring people from all over, like Love Island characters. They bring in Mama Kelsey, like the Kelsey brothers, the football player's mom, figure skaters, musicians. They bring them all into a house and they all play this big game of Mafia, basically. There are some traitors that are assigned and they have to kill off faithfuls every single night without being identified as as the traitors. So if you like Mafia and you like watching all these characters from different worlds come together in a house and play a game of Mafia, I highly recommend Traitors season 4. Season 3 was also really good. You can start there if you want, but season 4 just wrapped up. So there will be spoilers leaking if you haven't already seen them. So I highly recommend you watch it. It's so good. I'm watching Industry. I think it's close to wrapping up. If not, the season has already ended. I'm a few episodes behind. That's been pretty good. Industry is something that I like to watch like kind of more in the background. Like it's so intense though. So like I can't like really commit to watching in the background because there's so much going on all the time. I'm trying to like, I think I would recommend it. I think I would recommend it if you can commit to watching from season 1 and see how it goes. But for those of you that do watch, Harper and I, we like kind of have beef. Like, I don't know. I think Harper needs a serious therapist and it's this girl, like it's I don't know. It's hard to explain if you guys don't watch, but I would go watch I would watch it. Just watch it and see how you like it and let me know. The last thing that I have been watching in February, and I've been watching it over the past few months, is Game of Thrones. I actually never watched it the first time around because I'm scared of blood and gore and all of that nonsense. I really, really, really hate all the drama of that. So everybody's watched that show, so like I assume that you know what goes on, but it's nasty and gory and nasty, gory and gassy, whatever. I keep running out of storage on my phone and it's gonna cause me to tweak out. Set 2 financial goals for myself in February. The first one being that I wanted to do 14 out of 28 no spend days. I've never done like a no spend day week or month or anything like that before, and I just wanted to try it out because I saw some creators say that they were doing it for February and it made sense because the month was even 28 days, whatever. And I actually really, really liked it. It made me feel like I was being really intentional about when and where I was spending my money because I didn't want to just like, oh, I really want to pick me up, so let me just like go pick up a Celsius really quick, or let me go pick up a coffee really quick, or let me get a tea. Like I wouldn't do that because I was like, wait, you're not gonna let this $7-8 purchase be the reason why you don't hit your no spend day goal for the month. Or sometimes when I was like, wait, I'm gonna go to this place, but like I'm gonna Uber, but I was like, no, it's only 20 minutes, so why don't you walk? That way you don't have to spend money on an Uber. I think it was really, really helpful. The thing that I want to work on is making sure that like the days that I have designated as like a spend day, that I don't like overdo it because I didn't spend on a few days before that. But I don't think I did that too bad. And I am happy to announce that I did make my goal of 14 out of 28 and no spend days. I actually hit 15 days because I thought I was going to spend money yesterday and I didn't actually spend anything. My friends and I just like did a Star Wars movie marathon, and I didn't go out on a Saturday night and spend money, which was great. I'm super, 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 super excited that I hit that goal. I was kind of nervous for a second because I didn't decide until 7 days into the month that I was gonna do the no spend journey. And I had already spent on like 5 of the 7 days so far. So I was like, I really have my work cut out for me for the second half of the month, but it worked out perfectly. And I think I'm gonna try it again in March, but that'll come later in my March goals. And the second goal I had for myself, I typically go over my expenses every month. And as I've talked about before, I track all of my expenses, every single dollar. I know exactly where it goes. And I tend to spend a lot of money in the dining out category. I don't go out to eat by myself, but I will go out to eat with my friends literally all the time. And so that bucket is $500 to $600 that I budget myself every month to do that. And I wanted to see if I had enough discipline to cut it down in the month of February. So instead of doing 500, I allocated myself 300, and I am literally thrilled to announce that I was able to do it. And I honestly shocked myself. And the biggest chunk of that amount was Valentine's Day. And so I was like, if I didn't go out on Valentine's Day, I really would have been under. And I actually can do it. Like, I don't have to allocate myself $500 every month. It's actually possible to be less than that. And I think part of that is that, like, during the summer, I think that there's a lot more stuff going on in DC. There's big brunches and happy hours and all that stuff. But in the winter, girl, what are you doing? There's nothing to do. Sit still. I was really able to cut back on that, and I thought that was huge. So I am literally thrilled to announce that I hit my financial goals for February. And I think knowing that I'd have to come back and tell you guys whether or not I hit it was a huge reason why I hit it. So I'm gonna keep that up for sure. I feel like that was a huge part of it. For my mental goals, I wanted to set more boundaries around myself financially. I felt like my people would be like, oh, let's go to brunch, let's go do this, let's go on vacation. And I would just say yes. Like, I got asked to go on a trip in the US in March, and I was like, you know what, I actually don't want to spend the money right now, so I can't go. So I said no. I was also asked to go to brunch a few times, and I just said no. I felt like I have to take control of my own finances, and no one's gonna do it like I'm gonna do it for myself. So I wanted to work on being more comfortable saying no to people in February, and I think I did a pretty good job. I'm gonna keep it up in March. I think that's a huge reason why I was able to hit my no spend goals, as well as my eating out under $300 goal. So we'll see how that pans out if I keep up with it in March. And the last thing was physical. My only goal that I set for myself was that I wanted to make sure that I was walking on my walking pad at the office every time that I went to the office for at least an hour. I've kind of crushed this goal, and I noticed a huge change in my mood and my energy and stuff throughout the day because I did that. And by crushed, I mean I hit every single day except for 2 days. And I was super busy, and I just didn't have time, and so I couldn't pull it off, but I really liked it. So I think I'm gonna try that again in March, and let you guys know, but we'll see how that goes. So those are my February goals and how I kind of ate that. I can't lie. I low key, I kind of ate that. So I think the goal setting thing is huge, and it gives me something to work towards. So I'm definitely gonna keep that up for March. Okay, so now I'm gonna run through my February spending. I talked about my budget tracker before, but I have a budget tracker up on Etsy that I really love and highly recommend. It doesn't have to be my budget tracker, but you should keep track of your expenses in some form, because the best way to curb your spending, I truly believe, is if you keep track of every expense. Once you realize how much money you're spending on the little things and how quickly that adds up, that alone will change your behavior. Trust me, looking at it is so ugly. It doesn't have to be a complex Excel or Google Sheet spreadsheet like the one that I use. It can just be a piece of paper, you writing down oh, I spent this, I spent that, okay, I spent this. If you prefer to write it down in a diary or wouldn't put it in a Word doc or your notes app, just do something though, because something is better than nothing, trust me. I have this budget tracker that I'm using linked in the description below. I highly recommend, always happy to answer any questions on it, but this is what I use personally. So going through my expenses for the month of February. For those of you that don't know, I have mentioned before, I do make over $200,000 a year in my current 9-to-5 job. And I also, this month, which is huge and super exciting, made my first payout for my budget tracker that I sell that I just mentioned. So this month I brought in about $12,000 after taxes, which I'm so grateful for, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to reach my financial goals as quickly as I am or as quickly as I want to if it wasn't for the fact that I have this income. But don't let income deter you from making similar decisions. You can also keep track of your expenses and do all those things regardless of your income amount. So I recommend, regardless of how much money you make, that you try to take control of your finances, because every single dollar counts. Starting with my bill section tends to be pretty much the same every month, which makes sense. I know my rent, my internet, my phone, my car insurance, how much all of that is gonna cost. And so it doesn't vary significantly, which makes it super predictable. So I spent $2,125 on my portion of the rent, $50 on internet, $13.69 on my phone. This isn't my phone bill, but this is my insurance on my phone, as well as the extra iCloud storage, which I don't really know why I pay for it because my phone keeps saying I'm running out of storage, but that's fine. Our insurance is $119.69. My fitness membership, which consists of Solid Core membership and Planet Fitness, is $228 a month. My cleaner fee, my budget is usually $200 because I pay for the cleaner at my parents' house and then I pay for the cleaner in my apartment. My parents' cleaner this month was a little expensive because they hadn't used the cleaner in a while, and so they paid like a deep cleaning fee. So that was $180. And then my cleaner also came for the first time and paid and charged more because I got a new cleaner and I like her a lot, but she charged a deep clean fee instead of the normal fee. So in the month of February, I had 2 deep clean fees instead of the regular fee. So it was $280 and way over my budget, but that's okay because next month it'll be back to normal. Now moving on to my expenses, which is way more variable. And this is where you guys will see that I blew my dining out budget out of the water. Okay, so starting with groceries. Now, something that I didn't account for when I was cutting back on my dining out budget with my friends was that I was gonna have to increase the amount of groceries that I got. So that was definitely a flop. Usually my grocery bill is about $300 every month, and I should have upped it a bit to balance out the fact that I wasn't dining out. That's okay, I'm not upset about it because I saved money on my dining out. So this month I spent $395.96, which does include Costco run. When we went to Costco, we decided to try the whole buying in bulk meats thing. Bought a bunch of chicken and beef, and so that is what makes this a little bit more expensive, but that's okay because I'm happy about my dining out. So my rate, it can't even rain on my parade with this. So next, dining out, $230.54. That is literally half the amount that I spent every single month in 2025. I didn't even know I had it in me. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait, you don't have to spend $500 every month. You can do this. Get a hold of yourself. So this was a huge win for me. I'm so excited. Next, $121.21 on fuel and car related expenses. I did drive to New Jersey twice, so that eats into the gas. I think usually I count for driving to New Jersey once a month, and so this month it was twice, and I think that made a huge difference. So hopefully that's fine going forward. Shopping, I spent $72.82. I went on vacation, and so there's a bunch of stuff I had to buy before I went, like setting spray and stuff like that. I'm still under budget of $100, so that's good. Beauty, $19.08, same thing, under my $50 budget, which is huge. Entertainment and fun, I think I have to up because this is the second month in a row that I went over it. This is the second month in a row that I bought Volo. I'm gonna do a volleyball league in a few months, and so I did pay $116.91 for my Volo league. And I beat myself up about it because it's a way to meet people and be in shape and whatever, but I think I wanna be able to account for this section a little bit more, so I think I'm gonna up my entertainment and fun budget to $125. That way I don't go over it and cut back somewhere else. Transportation, huge lack of Ubers. I think this is hugely attributed to my no spend days and not wanting to waste money on Ubering. So only $58.73, which I am obsessed with myself. I love that. Self-care, $15. I don't remember what this was, but only $15, so that's not bad. Household goods, $18.12. I forget what's in this category, exactly what I bought for the apartment, but it's under $50, and as you guys know, I used to be a home goods addict, so this is huge for the win. And investments, I plan to invest $25 a month, but the way that I set it up was a little funky in the beginning, and I was double dipping investments, so it is $105 this month instead of $100, but that'll correct itself. And I'm not complaining about an extra $5 invested. That's huge for the program. Moving on to the sinking funds section of my budget tracker. Sinking funds are ways that you can bucket money for things that you know that are going to come down the line. So I, for example, have a gifts fund, a travel fund, a wedding fund, and an emergency fund, because those are the things that I realize I spend the most money on. And I have a little bit of my paycheck go towards my sinking fund. Every pay cycle, I have a little bit of money go to my sinking fund, which has been huge, because then when I want to spend money in those buckets, I don't feel like I'm suffocating. I don't think you have to have these sinking fund budgets, but if you're gonna have one, have an emergency fund one that you do not touch unless it's an emergency. It's better to build up your emergency fund slowly than to feel like you need to put a bunch of money in there all at once. You always hear creators say oh, you have to have 3 months or 6 months. You can't build that overnight. I can't build that overnight. We're not literally billionaires. So do it slowly. That'll really help. I do a small amount of my paycheck every month and I put it towards an emergency fund. And I highly recommend that you do that as well. This up here signifies the amount of money that goes from my paycheck into my sinking fund. And then this below is how much money I spend from said sinking fund every month. This month I spent $71.37 on gifts. One of my friends turned 30, so we had that. Super manageable. I typically spend more than that in a month, so I'm happy that that's the price. On travel, I spent $65.68. I went to Mexico for a wedding, and these are the Ubers I took took to and from the airport, as well as like, I think there was a tax when we got there, but it was great because it didn't have to come out of like my savings account. It got to come out of my travel fund account that I have funded and separate already. I didn't spend any money on the wedding this month, which is just gonna come back to bite me in the ass because a bunch of payments are coming down the pipeline, but that's fine. And I didn't spend any money for my emergency fund this month, which is great because that means it can just keep building in a high yield savings account and I do not have to worry about it. Like I said, I highly recommend you keep track of your expenses. It's super, honestly, it's kind of fun to run back and see how much money I spend. And maybe fun in the sense that like no one actually cares about me, but I literally love doing it. And I think it keeps me really mindful and really on pace for making sure that I'm making good financial decisions. So I cannot recommend my personal budget tracker enough, but don't buy me. I'm not a salesman. Go buy someone else's. There's a ton on Etsy. You can make your own. You can just use a simple piece of paper. Do whatever you want, but just make sure you're keeping track of your expenses. You might be wondering what happens to the rest of the money that's not accounted for in the budget tracker that I just showed you. It goes towards my loans. I put $4,000 a month as of right now towards my loans. Last year it was $6,500 because I wanted to get rid of them so quickly, but because I'm saving for a wedding, I had to cut down on that amount. So the amount of money, the rest of the money that you don't see accounted for goes towards my loans. And whatever's left after that, I put in my savings account and I try to invest on the side like I've talked about. So thanks for joining me for my February recap video. I hope you're as nosy as I am and this satisfied that craving. I will be doing a March reset to kind of show you guys how I set myself up for the month of March financially and my budget tracker and everything, probably next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.